Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk, bringing you the world's best books every day. Today we're exploring the book How to Handle Children with Stories. Student, a guide to remarkable transformations in children. When your child keeps causing mischief all day long, how would you outsmart them as a parent? When preschoolers show bad behaviors like lying or taking things, how should teachers address it? When young patients display aggressive behavior, how should therapists help? This book teaches storytelling methods to improve children's behavior and create positive changes. The author, Susan Perrow, from Australia, has dedicated her career to studying storytelling in education. After starting storytelling courses at Southern Cross University in 2000, she joined government-funded child therapy research. With 30-plus years in education and parent coaching, Susan is affectionately called the Story Doctor. Now let's dive into the world of stories together. I'll summarize the book's 5 parts through 3 key themes: story functions, creation techniques, and storytelling art. First, let's explore how stories benefit child development. The book shares an example. A mother asked Einstein how to teach math to her 9-year-old. Einstein replied, "Try telling him stories." When the mother pressed about math specifically, he said, "Want him clever? Tell stories. Want him wise? Tell more stories." Children find stories uniquely captivating. Good stories never lose their charm through repetition. Beautiful language, memorable characters, and engaging plots deeply attract children. Stories deliver life lessons and knowledge while entertaining and educating. Like Cao Chongwei's An Elephant teaches physics and math concepts. Secondly, stories nurture children's imagination. Human imagination naturally diminishes with age, but stories can revitalize it. A psychologist's mother initially doubted stories' power to cultivate imagination, thinking them absurd, but as a researcher, she tested it empirically. One day at the park, she overheard a grandmother arguing fiercely with her granddaughter near the swings. The grandmother insisted on fastening the safety belt, warning the girl would break her arm otherwise. The stubborn standoff lasted ages. Eventually, the granddaughter sat crying loudly on the swing. The psychologist had an unconventional idea and offered help. After getting consent, she told the girl, "Did you know this swing has a magic belt? If you wear it, you'll become a princess flying high. May I fasten it for you?" The girl stopped crying, wide-eyed, and nodded agreement. The conflict dissolved as the grandmother pushed the swing. The girl laughed joyfully, immersed in her princess fantasy. The astonished psychologist never doubted imagination's power again. Moreover, stories help correct bad habits. When my child wasted food constantly during meals, rice grains scattered everywhere despite warnings, I persisted, telling the food-wasting piglet bedtime stories for a week. The habit vanished completely afterward. Now, during meals, my child murmurs, "I won't be the wasteful piglet. It's unlovable." Thus, stories effortlessly corrected the bad habit. Finally, stories possess therapeutic value. As storytelling therapy pioneer, Susan once faced an extreme challenge. A young mother sought Susan's help for her son. The child developed psychological issues after being abused by a nanny at age 3. Despite months of medication and therapy, his condition remained critical. By age 6, the psychological trauma still persisted. Susan noticed the boy resembled a little prince when they met. She stayed up all night writing Born to be King. The story follows a prince's journey from light through darkness back to light. 2 months later, the mother reported the boy loved identifying with the brave prince. He overcame fears and regained confidence. Susan proved specially crafted stories could heal, what she calls therapeutic storytelling. Stories provide hope and courage to face life's challenges while finding paths forward. Classic tales like The Boy Who Cried Wolf and The Emperor's New Clothes teach moral lessons through generations. Since stories are vital for development, parents should both tell and create targeted narratives. This brings us to our second topic. Susan's story, creation. Framework includes protagonist, plot, resolution, and conclusion. This structure serves as both creative foundation and analytical tool. Using human protagonists like Zhao Ming risks labeling children in therapeutic contexts. Directly depicting specific children could damage fragile self-perceptions. Our school witnessed such a case. A child labeled dishonest after being caught lying became defined by that identity. The label altered peer relationships and fueled self-destructive behavior. Years later, during counseling, he confessed his childhood thoughts. Whenever something went missing, they'd blame me. So I figured I might as well steal and gain something. Therefore, story protagonists shouldn't be too identifiable. This is where metaphor becomes crucial. Metaphors are essential in therapeutic storytelling. Educators should choose symbolic elements matching children's age and needs. For example, using animals or plants as protagonists. Suppose a kindergarten child pinches others. How to create a corrective story. How to construct such story. We could title it The Snapping Little Crab. Beginning. Once there was a crab with strong claws. When he waved them, he accidentally hurt others. His octopus, starfish, and seagull friends became scared and avoided him. The crab metaphorically represents the pinching child. Other sea creatures symbolize classmates fearing interaction. Crucially, address behaviors, not character, separate actions from personal worth. Avoid framing like an angry crab who pinched everyone that conflates behavior with identity. Engaging plots need suspenseful developments to captivate children. Continuing our story, how to help the feared crab. Enter wise turtle as mentor, figure to drive the narrative. Story progression. One day, wise turtle gathered sea creatures to brainstorm solutions. Octopus suggested, cut his claws. My tentacle still hurts from last week. Starfish suggested, maybe we should glue his claws shut with adhesive. Seagull proposed, or bind his claws with super strong ropes. Wise turtle calmly interjected, children, let's not harm little crab. His pinching might come from discomfort. Let's help him understand friendship. This narrative design enriches the story's development. Now, the story needs resolution. The solution embodies educational transformation. What's the resolution in the snapping little crab? Wise turtle paced the beach, suddenly stopping by seaweed. I've got it! We'll weave seaweed into protective gloves for his claws, he announced. Excitedly, the sea creatures gathered materials to craft the gloves. When Crab arrived, "What's everyone doing?" he asked curiously. Wise Turtle revealed, "We have a gift for you." Astonished Crab stood frozen, his first gift ever, then tried the perfect fitting gloves. Crab beamed with joy. The resolution: protective gloves as behavioral reminder. I've used this story effectively in classroom settings. After storytelling, children requested gloves for their classmate. The child happily accepted them without resentment. The narrative framed gloves positively, avoiding shame while addressing behavior. Like Crab, he realized his actions caused others pain. Thus, the habit faded through constructive storytelling. Every story needs hopeful closure. My ending: Crab's claws stayed cozy in gloves, never hurting friends again. Everyone played happily on the beach together. Susan suggests that stories for young children must have hopeful endings where good triumphs over evil. Classics like Snow White and Cinderella embody this profound theme in folklore. Children worldwide need these hopeful narratives to maintain optimism about the future. For school-age children, stories with justice-themed conclusions, like The Fake Musician, become appropriate. These stories show characters learning from flaws like vanity and laziness. They help children confront reality while maintaining hope. Remember, never preach through stories. Let conclusions emerge naturally. Trust the story's inherent power to guide understanding. A good story itself is an educational tool. Tailor stories to individual children's needs and behaviors. Key elements remain: protagonist, plot, resolution, and conclusion. Avoid labeling. Separate behavior from character during creation. Now, how to make storytelling engaging. Finally, let's discuss the art of storytelling. Regular practice reveals storytelling's magical dimensions. Storytelling is deeply personal artistry. Each narration becomes a unique creative journey. Susan offers practical suggestions worth trying. First, create ritualistic beginnings for young listeners. Simple pre-story rituals help children transition into narrative worlds. Rituals can be simple, like shaking a tambourine or playing an instrument before storytelling, or using a special storytelling chair. Maintaining fixed times, like post-dinner tales or bedtime adventures. Establish routines, short stories after meals, story journeys before sleep with lullabies, sharing tales during travels. For school-age children, dive straight into stories without elaborate rituals. Face-to-face storytelling allows expressions, voice modulation, and body language to enhance emotional connection. Approach storytelling as shared experience rather than performance. Initial nervousness fades through the joy of mutual sharing. Make it enjoyable for all. Your enjoyment becomes contagious. Imagine being part of humanity's eternal story web. Visualize global storytellers keeping narratives alive through generations. Strategic prop use enhances vividness, especially effective for young listeners. Simple props work best. They spark limitless imagination in children. Minimalist props leave maximum room for creative visualization. 3 pistachios as pigs. Giant peanut as wolf in 3 Little Pigs. Knotted handkerchiefs as prince and princess in Sleeping Beauty. Real P for princess, and the P creates tangible magic. Additionally, musical instruments can enhance storytelling, like using instruments for different characters in The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Triangle. Egg shakers for sheep. Tambourine for the shepherd boy. Bass drum represents the wolf, creating interactive educational theater. Prop usage. Sparks creativity and joy for both storytellers and listeners. Avoid props for complex narratives to prevent distraction. Excessive props may disrupt focus in intricate stories. Cultural awareness matters. Stories reflect national identities. Chinese Journey to the West. Arabic 1001 Nights. Greek Aesop's Fables. Multicultural stories broaden children's cultural consciousness. Cultural roots provide comfort and shape identity. Maintain cultural sensitivity when adapting stories. Susan's experience with ex-Xhosa teachers revealed monkey taboos. Mentioning monkeys caused uncomfortable silence in workshop. Xhosa educator explained monkeys symbolized bad luck in their culture. Solution: replaced monkey with culturally neutral rabbit character. Thorough cultural research prevents unintended offense. Recapping the book's 3 pillars: functions, creation, and delivery of stories. Stories develop intellect, nurture imagination, correct behaviors, and heal trauma. When creating stories, establish a framework containing 4 elements: protagonist, plot, resolution, and conclusion. Storytelling art requires ritual beginnings, personal enjoyment, smart prop usage, and cultural awareness. Stories flow like water, seeping into souls, bypassing barriers, and rejuvenating all things. This concludes our exploration of story medicine. Find key takeaways below. See you tomorrow.